Excellent. Welcome to those who are tuning into a special premiere of the University of Wisconsin-Madison. You are in for a real visual and musical treat, performed by the incredibly gifted and committed artists and activists. Not only that, but we have a nice surprise for you at the end. These awesome artists will give us some live music as well. So tonight's main event is entitled Contested Homes. And it is so many things, but it's hard to define what it is. It's a multimedia jazz opera, but maybe it is most adeptly described as a vision quest for the 21st century in defense of nature and confronting capitalism through art and activism. By the way, I'm Stephen DeCastro. I'm a not very famous filmmaker. And the subject of my first film was Fred Ho, a visionary activist and avant-garde artist whose influence can even be seen in these works tonight. Now is time for us to begin. You will now hear from John Paul Patrick of the Ojibwe Bad River Band and a member of the Union Cab Worker Cooperative.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Patrick, as my English name, and I gave a very basic introduction in Ojibwe Moan. And I said, hello, my name is Whirling Cloud, and I am from Medicine River, and I am from the Mayangan clan. And thanks for allowing me to give this introduction. I come to you today as a tribal member, connecting with you all in support of this project in solidarity, community activism for social justice and equity. I want to acknowledge the importance of this arts premiere during such a tough time that we're facing, bringing such good energy and light. We're seeing for the firsthand, the disparities of Black, Indigenous, people of color coming to the surface of society, and oppression is rearing its ugly head, especially with the COVID pandemic and the tragic murder of George Floyd. There's hope for real progressive, equitable change. Let's not forget that. And always we can be on the good side of history, or some like to say the healthy side of history. One positive impact we can have on one another is through expression of arts. Thus we have artivism is born. That being said, I'd like to welcome you all to the final event of the Spring 2020 Interdisciplinary Artist in Residence, Ben Barson and Giselle Rodriguez, and the Artivism class students. Thank you and welcome.
And thank you, John Paul Patrick. And thanks to Aaron Birdbear, Director of Tribal Relations at the University of Madison, for your continuing support and from the inception of this project. This next video gives you a taste of the artistic process which has led to this unusual work. Contested Homes is a creation of the students in a unique artistic residency called Artivism, Intercultural Solidarity, and Decolonizing Performance from the university's Division of the Arts in collaboration with Asian American Studies, Mead Witter School of Music, Nelson Environmental Institute, the Dance Department, and Women and Gender Studies. The work is guided by the resident artists, who are saxophonist Ben Barson and vocalist Gizelxanath soprano. Following this highlight video, we're going to show you the main event, Contested Homes. Have a look.
Giselle and Ben are activists and artists. I see that sword bring down the great trees to their knees, hacking limb from limb.
As musicians, activists, self-called artivists based in the United States, we wanted to develop a collaborative jazz opera rooted in the defense of nature and indigenous social movements. Our intention with the jazz opera was to highlight the economic and social alternatives proposed by activists living in migrant-sending regions across the world. Alternatives that, if embraced, could create stable and life-generating communities rooted in social justice.
We're hoping to do something similar here in Madison, working with local issues and local struggles. It's going to take a village. I don't think anyone's ever done anything like this before.
We need young artists full of energy who are unafraid to go the extra step to relate to activists all over the world, because that's what we need for transformation right now.
I like to collaborate with other artists, and so this was one of the best opportunities for my freshman year.
The students were quite diverse in that they came from different academic backgrounds.
Engineers, poets, dancers, lots of musicians, designers signed up. Their spirit and their ideas were really innovative and they were invested in the project.
I think it was a learning experience for us as much as for them.
I was inspired by each and every one of them. There should be more classes that are like this because it just felt like a really positive community, and like we were always trying to brainstorm and bring new ideas into the table.
But she came from somewhere divine and she fights for her freedom and her life. Coming from underground, let it rest.
We dovetail because we believe that to be an artist is to also be an activist. Our lives are committed to transformation and social change.
Just has a really deep history working at the intersection of performing arts and activism. She just brought this great leadership to the kind of communal life of the class. She had students do a lot with movement, even students that didn't identify as movers.
If I find a way to connect with their backgrounds, their interests, that there is a way for anyone to dance. And because expression of the body tied to your emotion and your intention is all you need.
We're using the language of our day-to-day lives. And I think the power in that is saying that every way we move, every day we exist in America, we have the ability to fight back.
They were going to do their utmost to give and share their artistic and political activist perspectives. They followed through communicating, networking, and including people. They don't separate the university as the ivory tower from communities outside the university. They just try to share their gifts here and off campus.
It's really important for people that want to change the world and want to have an impact that's positive and radical and revolutionary to be as connected and open and transparent as possible. So we say yes, and that makes for a difficult but productive and exciting residency.
What was a gift and a special thing for our students, there were guests that came to the class.
Nefertiti, Adirondack flow, you already know. I'm too futuristic in advance for y'all to catch me though.
Najma Nefertiti, who's an activist and hip-hop artist based in New York, she came for several weeks and did a lot of great workshops, both on campus and with the First Wave community, as well as Bayview Community Center, which is a really beautiful space that serves a primarily immigrant population.
Me and her were always talking about ways I can approach my rapping, talking about different assets and how to make sure that the way that I rap into the mic is able to carry every single vocal.
Two of our other guests were Mario Luna and Anaí Ochoa from the Yaqui community.
We spend so much time researching the Yaqui people and their struggle, but something is different when you're in the room with these people and they're telling you, this is my life, this is my fight.
Tuvimos que salir y conocer otras luchas para poder conocer el poder de la música, el poder comunicativo de la danza, el enorme poder de una pintura y el alcance que tiene un documental.
As a team, everyone that shares their experience allows us to enter their world, which allows us to be able to expand in the way that we approach things.
the university closed down because of the COVID pandemic, it was quite a seamless transition.
Improvising music kind of helps you improvise in life. When it came time for us to jump on an online virtual world, we were able to do it.
What the students are learning is not how to stage and produce a show, it's how to record and mix and conceptualize an album or a multimedia online presentation. As a musician, that's been really important for me to develop my work and for Giselle to develop her work.
Composition of revolution equals a rampage. Buffer and solution, it's time for new days. And so
we met Mama C, who was a Black Panther who moved to Tanzania.
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can hear you and I can see you.
This is my first time.
She was gonna actually fly here from Tanzania. Unfortunately, because of the virus, everything was stopped, but she was part of the class as well.
She plays a lot of different traditional harps from East and West Africa.
Ooh, good thing I checked this out of too.
She gave a very inspirational and loving conversation to our students over Zoom, and she will be recording with us on the final project.
We're all here for a reason. We're all doctors. We're all healers. You know, and we heal through our art and through our word.
They contacted right away another gifted artist.
Adam Cooper-Turan, he identifies as a visualist because he just does so many different things related to animation. It kind of goes beyond animation. He was a great person to collaborate on this project because he could take the imagery that was being developed by some of our students, make them move and interact to the music.
Adam's vision will be integral to this project.
But I have faces beneath my faces, words inside.
The final project.
I'd say it's a
multimedia jazz opera.
It's a vision quest through modernity to take down the empire, to imagine a new future.
I hope that this collage will stimulate questioning of our society, of our country, of our own motivations, and our own daily choices.
We hope that it'll serve as the basis for new conversations about how we can stay engaged in imagining a new world and fighting for a new world, even when we're stuck behind our computer screens.
Just like Audre Lorde taught us, you turn your thinking into language into action, and that's exactly what this course has done. Creativity is a life force right now. That's what that class has done for me. It's just given me a survival tool, a kit to live into the future and create a world alongside other people so that all of us can keep living.
And now for the main event of our program. And as you can see, I have changed my look for the occasion, and after all, I am over 40, and it is a fitting visual prequel to the overture of Contested Homes. After this performance, we will meet the artists and the student creators themselves and cap off the night with a little live performance, since this is the last time this group will be together. So now, as a provocation against the dominant forces of the world we live in and a defense of nature and the earth itself, I present you Contested Homes.
What is holy when the dead are your economy? What is a body but another kind of currency? They took my dead and tried to call it energy. But I am monster, not a holy one. I am a liquid death, petroleum. I turned your air into a wicked breath. I'm poisoned milk inside your mother's breast. I am the dinosaur you resurrected. The ghost inside your tank unleaded, a gaseous Lazarus, the dead become undeaded. All your living are infected, oil the drug and you inject it. All your fossil fuels will go to fumes, soon the fossil fuel is you. Humans think their deaths are so important, but I came and went like a wink, and nothing has ever warned me. That terrible Tyrannosaurus. I'm one of the first things to ever breathe, and it doesn't mean a thing. I am the first life, a creature shucked from scaly meat, broke the earth like roots. Awake for the first time, I was a leather rage, a snaggle bite, my wicked fang, the first fearful weapon to throttle earth. I was alive as sunlight, and then I wasn't. It came like a pin of red dawn, a splash of heaven's blood. All the planet's air whisked into a glorious fire, my lifeline writhing in the dirt. I saw a silhouette before I closed my eyes. It stood on two legs, I thought. I heard it speak. And then my world went liquid. Time decayed into a raven honey. Light itself was a rotten slop. The hardest parts of me melted soft in Mother Earth's palm. And I became the black river where our dead float to prove they're dead. How long was I the soil's secret? An oily whisper in the dirt. I thought my death was death. I spent eons creeping toward heaven, but when the sky finally opened, it was not by Zion, but a man who wanted his name. Some oil driller undoing the dirty work of dying, drilling the sand of time to find my old wet life, resurrecting me slow and sloppy through a pipe, pouring me undeaded into a barrel marked petroleum.
We call upon the powers of our Gungun. We call on the powers of the mothers of the earth and the sky and fire and water. We call upon Nana Baruku, Yemoja, and Pachamama. We call upon the sweet waters of ocean. Blow in the fire of change, Yayansa Oya. We're fired up to build a just world. Through borders, let blessings flow. And we need all the power-filled forces that we can call up and call out for guidance in this revolution, in this era of transformation, in this age of enlightenment. That is indeed a revolution bringing the planet.
water, fire, air, the elements interwoven through the four sacred directions spoken with magical word, Mother Earth motion. Respect inheritance of water, seek and bring light, activate fight for Mother Earth rights, radical transformation. Awaken so-called developed nations, not asking, taking reparations, liberating education. For peace, rights, and living good life, recognize consciousness in action, no extraction, compassion for plants, insects, animals, stars, and a balance everlasting. Hits a gathering, young and old, stories told at the feet of ancestral wisdom. The spiral of the spirals, our survival depends on repelling the empiral collectively.
Cross that line, through that border, watch that flow, draw that map. Cross that line, through that border, watch that flow, draw that map. Make that black blood raging like a river. Take our land that our mothers grew. Make that black blood raging like a river. Take our land that our fathers grew. Watch that flow, draw that map, cross that line, through the border. Can you hear my scream up that mountain ridge? Can you feel my pain sobbing in my dreams? Watch that flow, draw that map, cross that line, through the border. Can you hear my scream up that mountain ridge? Can you feel my pain sobbing in my dreams?
And we need all the power-filled forces that we can call up and call out for guidance in this revolution, in this era of transformation, in this age of enlightenment. That is indeed a revolution bringing the planet.
Ancient ethics, sacred and irreverent, unity dream without sleeping. This is Mother Earth weeping, asking what's the reason. But we know the shallow river remembers everything except her name. Imagine years ahead. What can I do? Empower the people, she said. A cosmic community led, root of struggle, recognize resistance. Carry torches and go the distance, recognize existence. Recognize your slavery, recognize Mother Earth.
name is evil. I have many names, but this one is easy. It makes you think you know me, but I have faces beneath my faces, words inside of words. You think I come in black velvet and a necklace made of fire, but I am smaller than that. Atomic. I make the things around you. A pipe runs the spine of two lambs, and they are not two lambs. A border slices earth flesh, and this is called a country. I am a country. I am a line, the thing that makes geography. There are children on trial at the border as if baby teeth are villainy. There are pipelines crossing nations as if oil is not a weapon. I made everything a weapon. I am a language, a lineage. I am the holes in history, the money swirling through them. I am an economy. I am the men that make it move. This is the logic of the dead economy, where a body means nothing until it is making someone money. I am everywhere you cannot see me. I am the pipeline in the ground, the handshake in the dark, the documents that sign lives away. I am the pen and the ink, the thought and double think, the prisons and police, the lies that help you sleep. I am the law and its absence, Congress and the cabinet, coin and currency, God and God's effigy. I am a language, a skin, a silence, a friend, the science of ends, the metal of guns and the metal of night, the metal of coins and the metal of pipes.
Inside a matrix, I hate this. Love to artificial, tasteless, contagious, tricking, breathing through pollution. Racist fragrance, some type of execution. Defining branches set up, helping institutions, arresting innocents, scoring the point of constitution. Rules of freedom that they keep refusing. Can you listen? Clear the vision, split decision, stop buying television. Can you listen? Full life, wish we're alive in this passive system.
If I could see, if I could breathe, if I can be who I wanna be, I'm a fly, I'm a bee, wanna be a free, wanna be a free.
Conspiring in rotations, my people tired of the limitation. Stop the necessary deportations. We just wanna be happy, that's my declaration. La desesperación en esta nación, en este mundo donde vive la corrupción y se lamentan de una traición, donde los ricos comen satisfacción, pero cobran demasiado por la educación. ¡Ah, caramba! Dicen que hay que estar
calmado, estamos desesperados de los mismos resultados.
Un salario muy mínimo, otra manera de crear esclavos. En vez de ayudar a la gente en agonía, traman policías para crear más revuelto. Que porquería o cada día un corazón tiembla por el tipo de tipografía que les va a pintar la drogaría. ¿Qué es esta economía? Cuando a mano con un humano quisiera respirar sin tener que sentir aprovechado de las sombras de este malo. Respira. Rotation, my people tired of this limitation. Stop the necessary deportations. We just wanna be happy, that's my declaration. Declaration. Seguir girando en rotaciones, mi gente harta de las limitaciones, ya para las deportaciones, nomás queremos ser feliz, es mi declaración. Pa' ti, pa' mí.
Respira. Respira. Respira.
Respira fuerte, que esta es mi fuente. No eches a perder mi mente. La gente merece el mismo atención como el presidente. Yeah, MG. Don't forget to breathe. Respira.
Police coming, the beast running, my piece stunning. I'ma hit 'em, make 'em see something. Brutality, our daily reality. Killer be killed, my new personality. It's a setup, grab the bag, get 'em. They targeted fam, my comrades had to get 'em. Police murder people, lock 'em up and dead 'em. They beat his sister down, hit her till she bled, son. Corrupt system, she never got to kiss him. Her son didn't come home, they pistol whipped him, tortured him, stripped him, and tried to resist him. Search for no permission, no rights, none given, nothing different, same racism. Repetition, bust him in his eye and took him off the prison. Who's the enemy? Shooting at me cause of my identity. Bullets full of hate screaming at me with obscenities and penalties. Full-blown weaponry supremacies. No peace penitentiary, recklessly. It's been happening for centuries. Try to take us out, erase all our memories, accuse me of accessory. That's the recipe, plant drugs on me while aiming at my sensory. Telling everybody they shot her accidentally. She didn't have a gun on her, coincidentally. Didn't have a gun on her, coincidentally. She didn't have a gun on her, coincidentally.
I hear those sirens. I hear those sirens. Makes my heart beat too fast. My heart beats too fast, y'all. It's beating for freedom. Makes me wanna scream. Make me wanna holler. Make me holler. Freedom. Freedom. Make me wanna holler and scream.
It is revolutionary to love one another. Love is the language we speak when we fight. There is love in the core of our Earth Mother. Love builds a new world in the night. It is our duty to fight for our freedom, to call each other kin. It is our duty to topple kingdoms. It is our duty to win. It is revolutionary to love one another. Love is the language we speak when we fight. There is love in the core of our Earth Mother. Love builds a new world in the night. It is our duty to fight for our freedom, to call each other kin. It is our duty to topple kingdoms. It is our duty to win. It is revolutionary to love one another. Love is the language we speak when we fight. There is love in the core of our Earth Mother. Love builds a new world in the night. It is our duty to fight for our freedom, to call each other kin. It is our duty to topple kingdoms. It is our duty to win. It is revolutionary to love one another. Love is the language we speak when we fight. There is love in the core of our Earth Mother. Love builds a new world in the night. It is our duty to fight for our freedom, to call each other kin. It is our duty to topple kingdoms. It is our duty to win. It is revolutionary to love one another. Love is the language we speak when we fight. There is love in the core of our Earth Mother. Love builds a new world in the night. It is our duty to fight for our freedom, to call each other kin. It is our duty to topple kingdoms. It is our duty to win. It is revolutionary to love one another. Love is the language we speak when we fight. There is love in the core of our Earth Mother. Love builds a new world in the night. It is our duty to fight for our freedom, to call each other kin. It is our duty to topple kingdoms. It is our duty to win.
of enlightenment. Ashe.
And Ben, can you hear me?
I can hear you. You sound beautiful.
Okay, all right. I'll wait till somebody. Oh, I see. Now we are good. And hi, folks.
My mom is texting me. Everyone's saying good piece, but you got no sound. So, no.
My good. Well, you know, where would we be without Ben's mom? See that?
Well, nowhere, because then we would be doing something else. Still no sound. Still no sound.
She says still no sound.
Calling me right now. Everyone, this is my mom.
Pick up the phone, Ben.
No sound.
I want to hear it in real time so that we know that we're on.
This is my mom. She's saying no sound. Oh, she hung up.
Oh, is she happy now? Could you look at the chat, see if she's happy now?
Well, we're gonna find out in a few seconds.
Okay. And so I'm just gonna look as non-stupid as I can.
Let's look smart, but also just say everything you just said again when you can.
Yeah. Could someone give me a green light?
I'm still no sound. Sounds like there's sound, right?
I can hear sound now.
Okay, so everyone, this is my mom. She says hi.
Thanks, Mom.
Hey, everyone. So, Mom, there is sound, right? You're not lying to me like you did when you told me that life was going to be good.
Life is good. What are you talking about?
That was some bullshit. No, I'm just kidding.
That is excellent.
Okay, see you later.
Excellent. Wow, Mom to the rescue. And so thank you guys. And thanks for putting up with our little
theme of the piece. It's Mother Earth, you know, so we're trying to make this connection, anyway.
See, for us mortals, we are not as good as Adam, who brought all these elements together so flawlessly. But when it comes to all this live stuff, of course, we're going to screw it up. But wasn't that amazing? Wasn't it amazing performance? And one thing I'd like to say, I just said this, but I didn't have sound, is that what really strikes me watching this is that, first of all, I have to say kudos to Adam, who we're going to introduce before, because all this great work, all the graphics, all the dance, the music and the composition, the spoken word, the rap, comes together in the video, and it's very disparate. It's very like so many different separate things, and somehow the video aspect of it just weaves together in one thematic direction. And really kudos to Adam. He's like a visual poet to be able to bring these things together so well. And what I'd like to do is introduce the great people who have created this work, and I think this work is going to live on. One thing about it is that since the coronavirus hit in early of this year, as we all know, I also had coronavirus and recovered, is that then everybody left Wisconsin. Everybody went to their separate homes and continued this work. And so it was all separate, and then it had to come together in the end. And I understand that this is the first time that the students themselves have seen the finished products, and that's quite amazing. So let me get to our introductions here. First, I want to introduce the resident artists. And so we have Ben Barson, a doctoral candidate from the University of Pittsburgh, an artist and an activist and a saxophonist. And then we have Gizelxanath soprano, a Mexican operatic vocalist and cellist of Yaqui descent, and whose family's from the Sonora Desert of Mexico. And Giselle and Ben are the resident artists for the Artivism program. And then we have Nejma Nefertiti, revolutionary hip hop artist of Iranian and First Nations descent, now living in Brooklyn, New York. And then we have Peggy Choi, professor of dance and Asian American studies and the lead faculty for the Artivism residency. And she has also been called the gangsta godmother of dance.
That's true. She has. I forgot about that.
Yeah, go godmother. And then we have Lacour D. Yancey. B-Boy Spirit is a movement specialist working with Peggy for several years, a gifted dancer, as well as many other things, an all-American gymnast, as well as a practitioner of capoeira for over 20 years. And we're going to hear more about capoeira if you are not familiar with this martial art. And then we have Rodrigo Carapia, a muralist born in Mexico City, where he began as a street artist, and now I believe he lives in Madison. And then we have Adam Cooper Tehran, Arizona-bred visualist and performer, weave together these images into the video aspect of Contested Homes. And Rodrigo and Adam and the students gave birth to the visual language for our eyes to reinforce the revolutionary music for our ears. And then we have, hailing from Tanzania as we speak, Charlotte Hill O'Neill, AKA Mama C, a musician and a poet. And Mama C is a very special person. She fought for Black liberation as a member of the Kansas City chapter of the Black Panther Party before she, and then she went into exile with her husband, Pete O'Neill, in Tanzania. Together, the two founded the United African Alliance Community Center, and she joins us today from Tanzania. And so, greetings, folks. So glad to have the honor to kick off this Q&A. And so, wow, so much to talk about. It's hard to know where to start, but somebody wrote some stuff down for me. So thankfully, I'm tongue-tied, but I could just keep on going. And 1 second, we do want to get to our performances. So I'm just going to go set timer for 20 minutes. And so now I have my timer. And we are going forward. Excellent. But we can all come to a vote as to whether we want to go farther on our Q&A. And I would just like to ask Peggy, who is the lead faculty of the residency, about theory and practice, really. I mean, there's a lot of ideas in here, especially the first part with the dinosaur and so forth. Sorry for my terrible dinosaur impression. So the question is, how did the activists, the revolutionary theory part, relate and inform the practice, really? I mean, there's a lot of ideas in here. There's so much feedback. Especially the first
Peggy, turn off the Facebook feed because that's ahead of us. We're ahead of the curve here.
Question is, how did the activists, the revolutionary theory part, relate and inform the practice, really?
If you play that on Facebook, it'll be totally super cool. You good?
Peggy, are you there?
Peggy, sounds like you're good.
Okay, sorry about that.
All good. We're all learning this new coronavirus technology, which doesn't include a competent administration. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. I felt it was very important to tie the legacy of the past activism with the present. And in one of my presentations that Ben and Giselle graciously asked me to make on my work, I had pieces on solitary confinement, incarceration, and I focused one of my dances, Beyond Borders, about the Cuban Five. In 1998, they were convicted of espionage, but actually they were trying to protect the Cuban people from violence by right-wing groups. In Havana, there were bombings on restaurants, and a lot of people were killed. So they were trying to counteract that right-wing violence from Cuban Americans. And so I shared this, and I did go to Cuba to present my work, Beyond Walls. And I think that the lesson for me today is I just got a message from my friend Sonia in Havana. She has a so one of the Cuban Five has a message for us today.
Wow.
And I think the lesson is, pardon me, but I will talk about, I mentioned in this message, but the lesson is that this activism is about friendship and continued relations. It's a long process, a lifetime of relations, basically based on love. So I'm going to read the message of Fernando Gonzalez, current presidente of ECAP, which is the Institute Cubano de Amistad con los Pueblos, the Cuban Institute of Friendship of the people, with the people. Here is his message he just sent last night. Dear Peggy Choi and your colleagues and students, continue your fight for a better world with more justice and with better human beings. Thanks for your work, your dance. We hope one day you can come back to Cuba with new choreography and dance more about without walls. Friendship never ends with time or distance. It grows and develops, and ours is like that. Long live friendship between Cuban and United States people. So I just wanted to share that. The need to nurture long-term, persistent relationships, especially in these times.
Wow, thank you. So I would like to bring in Adam and ask him some things. First of all, well, Adam, when did you begin this work?
Pretty much it was about a month into the pandemic. But first, I'd also like to acknowledge, given that there was a land acknowledgement earlier for the introduction, that for everyone that's in this chat and for all the viewers too, it's like everybody is on the land that they're from. From here, from unceded O'odham territories. I'm in Arizona. Ben and Giselle are out in Pittsburgh. Mama C in Tanzania, and I just wanted to bring out all that spirit that's coming out of the everyone's respective spaces.
We're from Iroquois land over here. Yeah. And so let me get this. A couple of months ago, Ben came to you with this crazy idea, and there's music, there's footage, and then there's art, and that is overwhelming. That is an incredible challenge. How did you deal with taking all that disparate material and bringing it together into this unitary work?
I feel like, a lot of that is just by virtue of having a vocabulary that I already had with Ben and Giselle that started in 2018, and subsequently through their extended community and family of creative artivists, that I began to slowly find a way to be able to share ideas, and when it was approached that there would be this multimedia element to it, that's kind of my area of expertise, is like weaving together designing and editing media and presenting it generally in a visual format, but that it extends to any kind of mode. It could be audio, it could be video, it could be performance, it could be dance. It's like all of those realms have been explored with a lot of the work I've been doing for the last couple decades, and having the privilege to kind of do it on a very DIY, very break it and figure it out and try to teach yourself as much as you can. And by the graces of having community and people around me who like fostered that, supported it, and it's like the same with this. So it's like there was a basis of all of these images and all of this music that was like the foundation, and when that's presented in that way, it makes it very easy to try to there's a form to follow, and letting the imagery, letting the music be the kind of dominant pole of where I'm editing and putting it all together. Also given like the collaborative nature of receiving the notes, receiving the different feedback, receiving different updates.
Okay, so it's sort of like the sculpture's in the rock, and you just have to chip out the extra pieces, I guess.
I mean, I can't tell you that there's certain areas with the way that this was edited together that it fell into place exactly to the music, where I didn't dictate that. It fell there, and there was just a rhythm that naturally came out of constructing it. Like it was already there. It was already buried within.
Adam, could you bring in the students? I'm just dying to hear what they
Hold on. We got to bring in Johannes Wallman. He is the mastermind pianist composer that made the whole. I mean, University of Wisconsin didn't even like have a jazz major until JW came in, and he's surrounded by lots of sushi and other delicious treats. I'm so glad that. Thank you, Johannes, for extending your generosity of your programmatic leadership and your youthful, awesome self and your youthful, awesome musicians that study with you.
Well, thank you. It was such a pleasure to collaborate with you and then by extension with everybody else, and just a incredible opportunity for our students.
And I just wanted to ask you, because Johannes, you do a lot of, your album Love Wins has been very well acknowledged, and has a very important message about LGBT rights and equality right now. I was just wondering if you could mention, just from your own experience, do you feel like it's important for musicians or jazz musicians to work? Why is it important for them to work interdisciplinarily or have a message behind their work?
Well, we call music the universal language, and there's truth to that, but it also, at the same time, it hides or neglects the fact that music is very much an expression of its culture, and all the different music traditions are very much expressions of unique cultures and distinct cultures. The music expresses the way people in a society move and the way they live and so on. So the more we connect with the movement, the art, the visual, everything about the culture, the deeper our music is going to connect with the people who are listening to it.
And related to that movement too, we have Liqueur over here, and I wanted to ask him about your appearances here, because they were brief, but they were very memorable. And I understand that you are a capoeira practitioner along a certain school, and I'm just fascinated by this. Could you tell us, or for those who don't know, could you tell us just a little 2 minutes about capoeira, your role in it, and how you fit into this project?
Wow. First of all, it's an honor to be a part of this whole project with everyone. Everyone is so gifted. And Johannes, we've been working indirectly, and we know each other indirectly. It's so funny. Now we're doing stuff through a screen. But so my experience with capoeira started when I was 22, and then I started out in a style called Juneau, and that's regional capoeira. And then shortly after that, I started to study more and learn that the roots of capoeira, come from African origins. And that started to blow my mind, because I was very into Kung Fu and that sort of thing when I was really young. And so I started to seek out, wow, there's this actual thing called black arts, so black martial arts. And that started to blow my mind. So I started to seek it more, and got mentorship from brother Ed Poe. He's been one of my mentors. He's one of the first African Americans to bring, not one, he was probably the first black to bring capoeira to New York. Well, he was in DC, actually, to the East Coast. And he started to school me about capoeira, and story goes on, and I meet Peggy later. But before that, I was actually a b-boy. I forget about that part. So I was a b-boy from like 8 years old, and I started there. So when I saw capoeira, I thought, hey man, this stuff looks like breaking, but it's broken apart in a different way. And so down the line, some of the students and some of the folks that I danced with and taught back in the day, they said, hey, you should meet Peggy. She's really cool, and I think you guys would jive. And one day Peggy brought one of her students, one of my students here, for body work, and ended up in a snowstorm. So it's kind of like how the video came together, like he was saying. They literally drove here in a snowstorm. And so it was kind of meant for Peggy and I to meet. And we started talking about boxing. I started talking about breaking, capoeira, and how it fuses together. And she asked me to try out for one of her
Well, I think that, yeah, these influences, I can see them all because I can see the relationship of Kung Fu, Capoeira, and the B-Boy stuff because it's all about your amazing sense of balance, which comes out. It's quite amazing. But I'd like to talk to Mama C and Nejma about the word, the spoken word. So you guys represent a very, wide range of hip hop and just history of music, but also Mama C, you really represent a time in American history that we are all very interested and fascinated about, and I'm just wondering, how do you feel about the fact that these students are pulling these themes out? These themes of Black Lives Matter and so forth must seem to relate a lot to what you were struggling for before you went to Tanzania, but I don't want to speak for you. I want to hear what you had to say about it. Oh, wait a minute. We're unmuting you. We're trying to unmute you.
There might be an unmute button in the bottom left where it says, there you go. Oh, you had it. You had it for a second. Do it again. Just click once. In the bottom left. Here, let me try it again.
Oh,
unmute.
Yes.
There.
Yes.
I just have to say to all the students, to all the artists who put this together, this was an experience, y'all. I mean, I feel it in my heart. And like I said in some of my words, this is indeed the second age of enlightenment that I have seen in my lifetime. And I think that all these young people who put this together feels this in their heart. This is really some revolutionary times that we're living in, y'all. It's the same thing that was happening in the 60s and the 70s. And for me to experience this now, that is such a blessing. And one of the students said that it is our duty, it is our revolutionary duty to love one another. And as a Black Panther, that's what we always said. If you're a revolutionary, you got to be about love. You got to be about building international solidarity. And I think all of us represent that. We all come from a different place, different experiences, but we see what has to be done. And we see that we have to do it and build up this community, this love community with just that, love. And it is indeed our duty to win, y'all. I just love that. Yes, I give thanks for being a part of this.
That's awesome.
All power to the people.
We give thanks to you. All power to the people.
Yes. Ooh.
Yeah, and so I'll also direct the remainder of my question too to Nejma because of just the spoken word aspect of it and how it mixes in with this. And the reason why I'm interested in this is not because of you two artists, but because I know that most spoken word artists would find it really difficult to work with this type of music. But what is your experience working with this music?
Yeah, I don't know how most artists would really feel about it. I think maybe hip hop artists like specifically might be a little more challenged by it because of the rhythms and kind of like, just complicated beat, systems and stuff that's going on. But, and, you're competing with a lot of instruments and stuff, or rather not competing, but, trying to collaborate. And that can be really difficult. But yeah, I feel really blessed to have done this. This is kind of like another journey with the Afro Yaqui Music Collective and kind of like that I've taken, because we did our own Migrant Liberation Movement Suite. And then to do it with these students, I learned so much just from them. You know what I'm saying? they're so talented, and you know, they were willing like to go the extra mile as far as studying that revolutionary knowledge to understand what this project was really about, and to put that spirit into the words that they were using or into the instruments that they were playing. So for me as an MC, and you know, an artist that uses words, you know, I feel like words are magic, you know, and words can change the world. You know, hip hop is universal. It just depends on what you do with that platform. But yeah, it's been a blessing to challenge myself, and just like get uncomfortable with certain things to grow as an artist, you know. So I'm really grateful for that. And I love, you know, everyone that, you know, that made this project come together, and I respect everybody's work so much. Oh my God. And we have all different, you know, ages, people from different places. And that's just such a beautiful thing, you know, that really, it was so cohesive, and everybody was so willing. It does speak that revolutionary love that Mama C was talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you. That was a great way to end this particular segment, so we could get to the students. Now I'm going to ask you guys, does anyone have an objection for going 10 more minutes on the Q&A right now? We are out of time.
No, yeah, let's go more. And also, I just want to say, let's acknowledge everyone on Facebook, all 35 of our viewers, that Mama C is here, and it's like 3:30 in the morning, 3:45. So she's been up since 2 a.m. to be here. That's some revolutionary commitment.
I'm sure she's always up at 2 a.m. though.
No, she's not, Stephen. She woke up for this event, you know, so thank you so much.
Yes.
We love you. That's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, let's bring in the students. I think they have a lot to say. There some, you know, if anything has taught us anything about right now, it's that the new generation is leading this way, and we got to hear from some of those voices.
Absolutely. Ben, could you introduce the students that are coming on?
Before he introduces everyone, I really want to thank you, Steve, for like be willing to shape this dinosaur character and bringing us all together into the space, and all of you who did this amazing collaboration and were willing to take the risk without really knowing what to expect. And you know, it was a very stressful time. It has been very stressful for, you know, obvious reasons, but I think you all put 100% of your work and your commitment into the vision that we had, and you did the lectures, and all the students were really committed into doing very extensive readings and discussions. So all of that allowed us to have the work that we were able to just see right now. So thank you to all the students for really doing the work. And I am so sad that we cannot actually say, you know, goodbye in person, you know, and in real time. But this is a wonderful space for us to come together and say a final goodbye. And thank you for joining us.
Absolutely, yes. Set timer for 10 minutes. Okay, let's see these students.
They're coming. They're coming whether they want to or not. Let's see what's going on in their world here.
Woo!
Oh, we've got Morgan and Mitchell. Everyone's, yeah, they're coming in.
Yay! Woo!
Okay, well, I feel like I can introduce you guys because your names are right in front of your face. So I'm just going to come down, and I'd recognize you folks from the credits, and of course from Contested Home. So we have Morgan Reiser, Eric Franz, Jackson Neal, Mitchell Dowson, Henry Patachek, Mauricio Garcia, Maggie Cousin. Oh, she brought her saxophone, and Kimberly Indavong. I hope I have that correct. I apologize if I don't. Lily Finnegan, Brian Ganojek, okay, and Chendai Wang, I'm sorry. And so excellent. So thank you guys. And so let me see. I don't know how to start. I'd ask people to just throw in all together, but why don't we just start with the first composer, Lily Finnegan? And this is your first time, Lily, seeing this work. And of course, you know the music, but here you see, it all come together, and then you see it fit in with the whole suite. And then you had, I think, two pieces in here, if I'm not mistaken. And so tell us about that experience of seeing these pieces.
It was super cool. I loved just like the visuals and all the added layers of vocals, because I didn't originally have any vocals on the piece. And so it was cool to see how it was all mixed together. It is technically one piece, but the middle section is like completely different and kind of like very much so contrasts the beginning and end, which are like basically the same idea. So it was super cool. I loved the visuals and like the different people coming in with like their vocals and stuff. So
that's excellent. And so let me see. Somebody raise their hand. You know how to do that, right? Of course, you guys are millennials. So yeah. So somebody raise their hand. I'd love to get more first impressions of your what you thought about first seeing your work visually in this event. Yeah. Let's go with Mauricio, our rapper. And I see you were represented a couple times in here, and so I called on you because you're the wordsmith, so I know you're going to have some words for me.
Well, hello there. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. Thank you to everyone tuning in. And we all didn't expect this to happen, but once we saw the final version, it was just amazing and beautiful. Like, I myself got super emotional just watching everything, and like just the whole editing process, everything was quite an amazing journey, and I'm super, super blessed to be part of this. And I don't have the right words to express this, but just know that I'm really, really grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and,
grateful for you.
Yeah, Giselle, you wanted to react?
No, I feel the same way. I'm so moved by by not only the music, but like the words and the intention. It's like it just makes you just looking at the whole process, and I mean the actual final video, and it just gives me hope, to continue the work, to be able to just be a better person every day. I think that's really important, to be able to have inspiration as well. And you all inspire me, so thank you.
And yeah, speaking about the words, we should really talk about how the process, the creative process of composing the words and so forth. I want to bring in Chandai for a second about the lyrics, because I'm interested in the fact that we just saw a piece which, to my understanding, brought in all the issues and challenges of the 21st century as far as we know. And how did that come about? Like the process of bringing these things together, and how does it arise, and how does it end up as the final piece?
Well, actually, I feel like the lyrics comes up as when everything comes in my mind at the same time. It's definitely a process of brainstorming every theme, discussion, readings, and all of the conversation theme that we have encountered, and artists and my fellow student that come to the class together, like brings me all of the inspirations. So the theme at returning the lands to the people, individual freedom, like the pipeline, the borderline, and everything just come to my mind at the same time. So it's not a single line of creating the lyrics, it's everything come up together. So the lyrics come up with images, music, everything. It's a whole process in my mind, and they just pop up when you're in the class.
Well, that's quite amazing, because for me, when everything comes up together, I usually just stay in bed and I never get to create it. I'm one of these narrowed down Cartesian people. I got to narrow it down to what I'm doing. But to be able to be eclectic like that and just bring it bring it all in is quite amazing. And I'd like to ask folks, and raise your hand if you can, about the themes themselves. What was most important, and not talking about what's most important according to, you know, whatever a poll of the world, but what's most important to you personally about, you know, what theme comes out? We first see the theme of extractivism, human beings or man's use of the earth, and then we at the latter part of Contested Homes get into the issue of police brutality and racial injustice in our time. And so what themes came up the most, or what theme came up the most for you, if you were able to select one?
Well, for me, I feel like the theme that come up to me the most is if you concentrate on yourself and think about you as an individual, what identity or what type of mood or what support you as a human being to stand on the earth and the society that you live in. Like, you come up to the surroundings you are in not only as a human being, but you also come up with a lot of identities and emotions with you, the history, your ancestors, the stories that you come up with. So a lot of things that we talk about is about indigenous people, about migrant people, about minorities, and those people who do not share the, what we say, like, who do not have the, what we call privilege in the society, and how do they imagine themselves to be in the world that they want to live in, and the real mood and emotion that in their heart just screams out what they really desires and what they really want for ultimate life. So that is what I think about an individual and their relations to the society that we live in. And that is how all of the inspirations come at the first time.
Mm-hmm. And how do we do that? I suppose this is why it's an artistic process that we're going into, to try to see the world. The fact there's more than one way to see the world, and the Yaqui see the world different from, like, the Luma, the indigenous people of the southern Philippines, from the First Nations, from the, you know, the Europeans, and our own Euro-Western perspective, I guess, right?
Yeah, like, you definitely have to choose a perspective, but sometimes a lot of perspectives come together and you can find a common ground. Like, I feel there are some common feelings shared by people with different identities, migrants, immigrations, and people just, I don't know, like, it just come to me with pictures and feel like that it's a person standing over there and thinking about the life that he or she is living. And I don't know how to explain it specifically, but it just come up with me with little ideas, and I just compose them together and put them into lyrics.
I see. Well, I could have used you in the production of my last movie. You could look that up. It's called Revolution Selfie, The Red Battalion. And a lot of it has to do with this issue of subjectivity, and try to see the world from the perspective of peasants and poor people from different parts of the world. But thank you, guys. So we have come to that portion, unless we want to keep on going with our Q&A. Looks like Ben wants to say something.
I just noticed, I got a couple things, because, you know, as being a guest professor person, I've become super sensitive to people raising their hands or giving me secret winks. I noticed that Morgan wanted to say something. I think Jackson had some thoughts. Also, feel free to say, no, you're just making things up on a live Zoom stream. That's totally not true. You can say that. But, you know, I know, you know, just if we could just hear from some other folks.
Yeah.
Maggie and Henry wrote some amazing compositions here. Ben and Brian played amazing, you know, saxophone, clarinet. Kim Intavong created some of the most dynamic imagery I've ever seen, you know, including that final Black Panther scene. So if y'all, and Eric, you know, right now Eric is leading like a movement in Wisconsin to, you know, shut down this whole pipeline Pence infrastructure. And I'm just so proud of him. So I just love to hear a few words from each of them. I know we're over time, but you know what? I think this is more important than hitting the script on the dime, you know?
Let's go. Okay, let's start with Morgan. Go ahead.
Sure. So I guess first off, just thank you, everyone who's here to view this piece and stuck around for the Q&A. And thanks to everyone who helped put it together, especially for me as the pianist and playing with all these musicians, Ben and Giselle and Johannes for putting everything together. It was definitely a bummer when the semester was canceled. Although I was excited, no class was definitely nice. I know we were all looking forward so much to the performance that was planned in April. And so I'm just happy we were able to, find some way to have something permanent from all the work that we put in, and thankful for all the work that everyone put in, the musicians, the singers, rappers, visual artists, everybody. But I think something that's really stuck out to me was just the fact that, with the murder of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery, just how all these themes just somehow fit perfectly with everything, all the events that have taken place over these past few months. I just thought it was incredible that, all this work we had been doing, that the product was actually finalized, it just kind of fell into this perfect pocket of kind of speaking to everything that's happening right now. And just a reminder that all of these things are happening constantly, even when they're not in the spotlight, in the news, in the front of people's consciousness. I thought that was really incredible. And I think it also really goes to show how interconnected all of these themes and issues are. And, one of my passions in terms of activism being the climate crisis, just a reminder how that theme of extraction that we see in the beginning is so connected to the oppression of people all around the world. So yeah, it was just really incredible to be a part of this, and awesome to see the faces of names of people I hadn't met yet all coming together to watch this together. So yeah, all around just really, really thankful for this whole experience.
That's excellent. Great. Who was the next on your stack there, Ben?
Well, I'd love to hear from Jackson Neal. He was the voice of the dinosaur, of the pipeline, of the mantra, and he just added so much. So I'd love to let Jackson just share some of their thoughts, because I know that they have a lot to contribute.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, no, I really appreciate that. It was so amazing to watch this unfold. I'm a poet. That's kind of what I practice, and language forms the lens that I create art through. And so it was so amazing to see language interwoven with all of these elements. But just having seen this and kind of experienced it, I think always about Audre Lorde's quote that we must turn silence into language, into action. And so for me, we've made this spectacular mythological world in which we're emancipated from the white supremacist regime. And it's so heartwarming and so fulfilling to imagine that and to see it. And my hope is that for all of the viewers that experience this, we can use this to then go after that. That it's not enough to just imagine, right? Like Assata Shakur says, it is our duty to win. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. And so because we now know one of the many possibilities that's out there for us, I'm so excited to see the ways that we collectively as a community experiencing this art are going to take actionable change to make sure it becomes a reality and becomes a world we can live in and through for real.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Great. Yeah. So, Ben, you want to shoot it to somebody else? I think that you mentioned Kimberly because you are a visual artist, and so you have contributed to this visual language that we are seeing on the screen. And can you tell us about your process and your experience of watching this for the first time?
So I was able to do a few of the drawings that you saw in the video. They all came from my sketchbook. So when I was drawing in class, when Ben and Giselle would be lecturing, I would take some ideas that they would talk about and just kind of start sketching my notebook. And as like the process kept on, as the play kept on going on, or originally was going to be a play. It just took some of the concepts that we were going to use and try and figure out what those meant to me. And yeah, seeing it for the first time was really interesting because, like, obviously when I drew them, I drew it all static. I separated the pieces out for Adam so that way he could animate them. But seeing them actually in motion and like all merged together, I think is really cool. So.
Excellent. And so yeah, that's awesome. So Ben, you had another question for somebody.
I just think, Maggie wrote this crazy, like, Terrence Blanchard inspired, cinematic. That was the piece where we saw some of the Black Lives Matter compared, with the other BLM movement, the Black Liberation Movement, put together. And again, everyone took a big leap of faith here. No one knew exactly how it was going to come out, including Giselle and I, including Adam, who did the visuals, including Kim, and Rodrigo, who made some of this amazing, made these amazing illustrations. No one knew how it was going to come out, but somehow everyone captured the spirit. So I just want to hear what was Maggie's process, because it was, a stunning work, for anyone of any age, and I just want to hear that a little bit about that a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So I was definitely inspired by film soundtracks and stuff like that. I was trying to write something cinematic, and definitely Terrence Blanchard is someone who has done a lot of great work in that area, who is a part of the jazz tradition. So I'm definitely looking to him for kind of inspiration in a lot of it. I was also very much inspired by by Ornette Coleman and his prime time work in the 80s, and by old school hip hop, by like the Bomb Squad production or the RZA, which ended up working great with the capoeira. That fit very naturally. And yeah, I think my goal was really with this thing to be setting, using music to really set these political ideas, to use kind of musical ideas that people are going to understand, have connotations that they associate with them, like the idea of the break beat, the idea of dissonance, of whatever kind of musical concepts there are. I think there are, due to kind of, the way we take in culture and the way we experience it, we're going to have certain connotations assigned to different musical aspects. And that is going to, just like the same way that lighting in a photograph would change the way that you see what you're actually seeing. I think the musical backdrop is going to change that. And then while I have time here, I would just say, like, definitely, I want to echo what Mama C said. We're living in crazy times right now, in revolutionary times. And so to put this piece in that context, I think it's definitely a good snapshot of what is going on right now. It's already kind of outdated because things are moving so fast, but that's also just kind of an aspect of this current era. As Lennon said, there are decades where nothing happens, and there are weeks where decades happen. And I think that it still has so much relevance 100 years later to what we're experiencing today and how things are developing right now. And if you're checking this out, if you're watching this live stream, if you checked out the piece and it inspires you, don't miss out on this revolutionary moment right now. Don't stay on the sidelines. There are so many groups that are organizing to build working class politics and to be independent from the status quo and to break free from that. Don't sit on the sidelines right now. There's so many groups to get involved in. I'm in Socialist Alternative, but that's just one of so many that exist that you can join and be and ingrain yourself in the times that we're living in right now. We can't afford to miss this opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And
yes.
Absolutely. Well, it strikes me that, every time I see somebody who is holding a saxophone, they're usually saying, giving a revolutionary badass speech. I don't know why that is. It's been the same way for the last 5 years, and so awesome. And I just want to do a shout out to Morgan Reiser, Eric Franz, Henry Potacek, Brian Ganojek, and Mitchell Dowson, because you have not had a chance to speak. And I just want to say, you participate by being here. You participate by listening. We appreciate you being here. But if you guys, anybody would like to throw in before we end the Q&A part, please raise your hand. I mean, actually, this hand, not the raise your hand clicking thing, but if you want to raise your hand and say something. But it's cool to, first I used to train organizers. And
hold on, Steve. We also got Ben Stoffel Murray, great alto saxophone.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed Ben Stoffel Murray. Yeah, go ahead.
That's okay. He came on his second late and it just got screwed up, but he has just been so on top of his playing, his improvisation. So I just want to give a shout out to him. He's in my bottom left corner here, maybe bottom right. Who knows what you're seeing? And it does look like Eric's got something to say. And then we're gonna do some performances. So stick around. We've got 21 viewers here. Invite your friends on the Afro Yaqui page on UW-Madison. We have about 450,000 somehow. Great job, UW-Madison, for marketing it so well. But looks like we got. Eric, you wanted to say something, and then we're going to do some performances. Brian, Ben, all kinds of people are going to play.
Yeah, I just want to say how special it is to watch this with everyone and hear everyone's voice and be together in community. I think right now, even though we're seeing an uprising, there's still a lot of pain and isolation that people are feeling. And the community that we formed this past semester was so important to me and so meaningful that it's great to just get a sliver of that digitally again and hear from everyone and see the work we did and put together. So I'm just really grateful. Not a day goes by where I don't think of all of you, and I'm really happy and just inspired by all the revolutionary thought we put in to see it manifest now is remarkable.
Well, thank you. And so those last two speakers really gave a good rounding out for this project, I think. And it seems to me, I think Nejma and I were walking down the street the other day and we were talking about it hasn't been normal for so long. The normal is totally fucked up and destroyed, and whatever there's going to be a new normal, but maybe it's going to be better, and I certainly hope it is for all you guys. And so anyway, we ready to go for our musical performances.
Before we jump into that, does anyone else wants to say something?
I think they want to speak through their.
Mama C just raised her hand. And
I just want to express how I have so much love for all of y'all. I haven't met everybody, but I know you all. I can feel your spirit. You all are brilliant. And I have never personally participated in a project experience like this. You all have blessed me with your love and everything that you are about. Viva the youth, because the youth are what make the revolution. Much love.
I second that.
Oh, that is so true.
Second that.
Viva the youth, yes.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Absolutely, that's awesome. And so, without further ado, let's get to our performances. And first up on the run they gave me is Nejma. And so, Nejma, are you ready?
Sure. This is a piece called Black Queen. Black Queen, God is earth mathematics, proof that God exists. Black chromatics on the keys, black seas, black queen bees. Manifestation of existence, revolution, resistance, perseverance, persistence. Black Queen. Open the multiverse in my dreams, travel parallels, seen the removal of smoke screens. By any means, you are ready. Rocket steady, we ready. One of the 5 deadly sacred sources. Running with it after you handed us the torches. Black queen, gorgeous, love enormous. In an orbit that is formless, magically charmed in adornments. Unmistakable black queen power. Descendants of your streams and flowers. Building pyramids and towers, reflecting Ra at specific hours. Become enlightened in the water, black queen daughter. So many black queens slaughtered. Pour some water, light a candle on my altar. I stand before you when I falter. Black queen author, wrote the story in all its glory. Black queen excellence, they tried to burn the evidence. Black queen elegance, intelligence, black queen benevolence, a legacy of greatness. Too many black queens go nameless, kidnapped and forced into the matrix. Black queen oracle, every breath we take is a memorial of your eloquence. We celebrate, throw interstellar dust. It's a must, we drop the science. Form an alliance, in defiance, no compliance. A moment of silence for all black queen lives taken in violence by comrades, husbands, and police tyrants. Black queen, I hear your cries beneath the sirens. Black queen matriarch, pharaoh, black queen. Eye of the arrow, it's a cold world and we can never be too careful. The heart is tearful, earth sold to the hands of evil and fearful. Black queen dreams of liberation, black queen constellation, black queen villages raising youth to carry the nation. Black queen telepathy, black queen freedom fighter sings, black queen ecstasy. Giver of life, no discrepancy. Black queen destiny, black queen ebony, black queen identity, brevity. Black queen intensity, successfully killing white supremacy effectively.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. People are loving that. Black Queen. Yeah, shout out to Breonna Taylor. And so next we have Peggy, followed by Brian. And Peggy, are you all ready?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
All right. So Adam, maybe I'll count to 3 and I'll start my music. So hopefully we can coordinate. Okay, so 1, 2, 3.
Oh, Adam doesn't seem to be, I think he's taking a piss.
Let's do another performance first. Yeah, Peggy, we're going to come back to you. We're so excited. The tension is building. It's going to be good.
Absolutely. And so, Brian, how you doing? You are next, followed by Mama C. Are you ready? Okay.
Yeah, hey, hi. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm here. I'm joined by my roommate, actually, who's a percussionist. This is Aaron Gotchberg. And we're going to be doing actually also a Brazilian tune. It's a genre called choro, and it's called Bole Bole by Jacob do Bandolim.
Well, thank you.
Yay! Woo!
Oh, that was awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
And
everyone.
so let me see. Should we go back to Peggy right now?
Yeah, let's go back to Peggy. Is that okay with you, Peggy?
Yeah, I have my music ready.
Excellent. So we're going to do Peggy and then Mama C.
I
And,
have my mic on and my video. Okay, so we'll start. And my cat might walk through the area as well.
That's the best part.
I don't know. I can't even hear my music. Let's see. Wonder why. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Wow. Excellent. It really flowed. That's great. Awesome. Powerful. But I just don't, I don't want to dance with you. I think you're going to kick my ass. And, you'd be hell on a line dance. You just mow down the whole wedding party, man. But it's
RZA's Afro Samurai.
Afro Samurai. Oh yeah, I know all about that. And then excellent. So now we move on to Mama C. Mama C, are you still awake? Yes, she is. And but I heard you. Could you unmute again? Say something.
Say something. Can
I
you
heard
hear me?
something. We're good.
Okay, and Sister Peggy, I'm so happy that we as elders still have our youthful spirit. Yes. Oh, so this is a Kamala Ngoni. In case you can see, it's a 12-string harp, originates in Mali, and this is one of my favorite tunes. Don't give up, don't give up, don't you give up. Life may get rough and things may get tough, but don't you give up. We are the knowers, y'all. We're the dreamers and we're the soarers. Indigo children. Usikate tama, hey, usikate tama. If you don't know Kiswahili, that's what we speak here. That means don't give up. Keep building that love, y'all. Keep those revolutionary fires burning and spreading and serving as compost that will grow flowers, that will ring the planet. Don't give up, don't give up, don't you give up. Life may get rough and things may get tough, but don't you, ooh, don't you give up. And Black Lives Matter.
So beautiful. Wow.
All
Thank you.
power to the people. Love y'all.
And that's a heavenly sound. What is the name of that instrument again?
It's a Kabalan Ngoni. It's in the Kora family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a 12-string harp.
Yeah, it's beautiful sound. Really nice. Really nice. Yes. And so we have Mitchell.
Mama C, I just want to say, Luisa from Venezuela. She says, we love you. Kiss from Argentina, because I guess she's in Argentina now. And a lot of people are saying, yeah, I just wanted to let you know, Luisa from Venezuela.
And I carry those comrades in my heart every day. Blessings flow, y'all. Keep them flowing.
Que así sea, Mama C.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely, yes. And so now we have Mitchell and Jackson. And Mitchell, I believe, is the composer of also the song which is going to end our program as we roll credits. That piece is called Ellison. And if I have that correct, if I had the person correct. So Mitchell, are you ready? And Mitchell, I'm looking for Mitchell.
Oh.
I see Mitchell. Yes. And so say something again, Mitchell.
Hello.
I heard you. Great. Excellent. So go ahead. And so it's Mitchell and then Jackson. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So you were correct about the tune Ellison that'll be playing at the credits after this. So look forward to that. This is part of a tune I wrote a couple years ago for solo guitar called Next Year. So here's that.
Wow, thank you. Very soulful sound. Yeah, that finger picking on the humbucker pickups, it sounds so nice and ballsy, it's really nice.
Crotchy. We say crotchy. It's gender neutral. Come on.
Crotchy. And so we have Jackson, followed by Ben and Giselle.
All right, I'm opening. The pressure's on. What's up, y'all? My name is Jackson Neal. I'm a poet from Houston, Texas. A lot of people don't realize that George Floyd grew up in Houston, Texas, and he was a really important community member to Third Ward, which is one of Houston's historically Black communities. So this is a love letter to H-Town, which is a city that held George and that holds him still. My city ain't sleep like other cities sleep. My city birthed God straight out the concrete. I'm H-Town hustle, Space City, Texas. My city grinds while other cities flexing. This is how Houstonians do. We wear the diamond-studded sun on gold chain, drape ourselves in tapestries boasting of all our ball teams. We dangle vials at the hip containing the sands of every motherland. Origin of our 1,000 dances. And what is a dance, if not the body becoming its own home? Our foot stomp the buck of bulls, we rain stick of neck and elbow. We rock bachata, make sailboats of our hip bones. And what is Houston, if not an ancient, unending block party? Turn up that begot all turn-ups. Our streets long cracked by a hail of beat drop and sun damage. Air bewitched with saltwater hymns. 97.9 the box, a hum of a barbecue sizzle, and always the hymns of our mystic sisters, Beyonce and Solange. And let's be clear, Houston is a goddess herself, older sister of Atlas. She wears the earth and moon on hoop earrings, dips her makeup brush in the sunrise, and uses it for highlight. What we have here is mango hearts, jewel encrusted everything, and a people testament to the word extra loud, extra praise, extra love, extra proud. That is what makes us clutch city. How we hold each other to each other, how we rave on oceans that were meant for sorrow, spit back at that jealous sky, tell the very stars to post up, cause ain't we Space City? Ain't we all hustle and World Series? Ain't we going 90 with no blinkers? Ain't we H is high, mouths wide, filling the bayou full of song?
Wow, thank you. I didn't know that Houston was like that. I've never been to Houston. Awesome. And so we have Ben and Giselle, followed by Maggie.
Hey.
Hello.
We're going to be doing a piece by Salvador Moreno. And this song was arranged by Ben a long time ago. It's in the Aztec language of Nahuatl. And Jackson, thank you. That was beautiful. So shall we start?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Actually, can we move the bench out a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah, like this way.
Okay. There you go.
Wow, awesome. That's
Wow.
great. Love that. Love that. You know, every time I hear it, it's like the first time. It's so good, so good. Absolutely. And so we have Maggie, followed by LaCour. Give me a sound check, Maggie.
All right, I'm gonna switch over my mic here, so hopefully it'll work.
I'll let you know. Tap on it. I can't hear it.
Yeah, we can hear it. We can hear Maggie.
You can hear it?
Yeah. Wait, Maggie, keep talking. Actually, no, I can't hear anything. I just made that up for no reason.
Give me some more sound signal, Maggie. Nope. I can't hear it. Huh.
Not yet.
She's trying to use the mic.
You got to do your built-in audio. Are you running direct?
I'll just go back to the other mic. Is it working now?
Yeah, it sounds great. Don't worry. We got.
Okay. I just can't use the nice mic. That's fine.
It's okay.
Happens to me all the time. Excellent. Thank you. Yeah. So sound a little Fred Ho-ish right there. Yeah, absolutely. And thank you. Oh, I lost my thing. Where am I at? Where am I at? Oh yeah, Maggie. And so Liqueur followed by Mauricio.
All right, so I'm gonna play a track. Let me know if you can hear it. If it comes through, because it might be a little loud.
Great, great, don't play that.
Okay,
Yep,
sounded good.
Good. Okay, so this is a track that I wrote 5 years ago, and I just picked it out last minute, Peggy, because I thought about what you were saying about capitalism, and so I wrote a song for BPS back in the day. It's missing a few instrumentations, so I apologize. There is more to it, but this is what I had. It's a little older version. So just rock with me for a little bit, y'all.
Living in a capitalistic society where if you don't work, then you might not eat. Cause it's a capitalistic society. And if you don't make the rent, your ass is out on the street. You see, there's a few who have, but many have not. They say you have to grab in order to get a spot. But you could search the world over to try to find what you need. But if you don't look inside, boy, you'll never be free. You could sail across the ocean or dive the deep blue sea. Climb that highest mountain and scream from the top of the peak. Dig inside the earth for gold, but that story's been told. What you continue to look for, don't you know you already hold? Living in a capitalistic society where if you don't work, then you might not eat. Cause it's a capitalistic society. And if you don't make the rent, your ass is out on the street.
Fast food, fast clothes, these things we wear. And everybody knows these politicians don't care. You see, it's all a trap just to get you there. Yeah. And then they sell you crap while polluting the air. Dilute the food, and then they poison the water. And then they get slave labor from our brothers and daughters. See, I think we ought to. I said I think we ought to. I said I think we oughta find another way to slow down the slaughter.
Living in a capitalistic society where if you don't work, then you might not eat. Cause it's a capitalistic society. And if you don't make the rent, your ass is out on the street. Living in a capitalistic society. Then you might not eat.
Nice. I like that. I like that song. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Wow, man, you really moved. And so awesome. And by the way, you guys all know each other, and it's a real honor for me to be joining in with you guys and seeing what you guys can do. So thank you for letting me be a part of this. And so now we have Mauricio, and followed by, hope everybody's got their instruments. We're gonna try and see if we can do a jam all the way across the world right here in this Zoom meeting after Mauricio. Hey, Mauricio, how you doing?
Hola, hola. I've been good. So the piece that I have, can you hear me clear?
Clear as a clear.
Sounds perfect. Thank you. So my name is Mauricio, and my artist name is MG Ricio. My piece for today is called Listen, and here it goes. Crossing the border, it's not easy, dear. Walking over heat, Mr. Death be near. No food, no water, people disappear. Snakes, rubbers, ice, every type of fear. These scary nights, scary days happens every year. Constant deaths and screams, This is so severe. Can I make it clear? Can you really hear? Open your own eyes. Listen with your ear. Not an easy life. Tell you how we feel. Tell you how we feel. Tell you how we feel. Broken families, broken hearts, stolen people in the dark. Listen. Listen. Prison isn't the right business. Missing. Missing. Love, not distance. Living. Bring glisten existence. Listen. Stop twisting our vision. Locking the cage to disengage. Even valid the minimum wage. What is our fate? Building upon the pain. Building a clear rage. Anger burst all up in my veins to a tough place. Bursted up a stage in numerical waste. Composition of revolution equals a rampage. Buffer and solutions, it's time for new days. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. Absolutely. You can certainly rap in many different voices, you know. It's
Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Excellent. And so here we are at the I hope this isn't going to suck, but our jam, and everybody can participate and unmute and throw in with whatever they got, spoken word, instrument, whatever you have. And let me see. Now somebody's got to lay down a theme.
Yeah, let me make a suggestion here. Let's go one at a time. Okay, so, you know, we got like maybe Mama C, you could start it off with something. Okay, and then Kim, maybe you could snap or clap or do something. It's not going to line up, right? That's okay, because we're in the age of, you know, enlightenment. We're in the age of breakdown. It's just, we got to go with it, you know. Like there's this legba, you know, like the orisha of the limp, you know, and it's like this limp in time. We got to go with that limp because it's productive, you know, this, right? So feel free to contribute any, you know, if anyone wants to say anything else, but let's just all go with it. So everyone's going to go one at a time.
Yeah. We're avant-garde. We don't believe in the beat.
Yes.
Well, we believe in we got to reflect.
New age avant-garde.
Yeah,
for sure.
So we're all going to go.
Millennial guard.
Yeah. And right now it's 9:51 Central Time, 10:51 Eastern Time. Let's go until let's go until 9:55, 10:55 Eastern Time.
And so based on your
wait, Peggy's got something.
I'm sorry, based on what you're suggesting, we start with Mama C, and then who goes next and who goes next?
Let's go in alphabetical order. So after Mama C would obviously be Maggie Cousin, because I don't know, I think that's correct. And then after that would be Mauricio. And
remember who came before you guys. So yeah, Mama C, Maggie Cousin, Mauricio, and
Henry. Henry, you got your drum set out. If you don't, hit, just kind of go like this on your chest. Chandai, vocalize anything. Eric, start just saying some crazy revolutionary stuff. Anything, that comes to you. So let's try it out.
All right.
Don't let them take your joy. Don't let them drain you of your humanity. Remember, don't you ever forget that we got our own kind of family. Don't let them take your joy. Don't let them drain you of your humanity. Come on, Maggie. Hey, yeah. Hey. Joy, joy. Oh, hey, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Joy, joy. Ooh, yeah. Joy in the midst of it, y'all. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey. Hey, yeah. Yeah. Hey, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Hey, hey, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Joy, joy, ooh, for right. Joy, joy, ooh, for right. Don't let them take your joy, y'all. Even that is resistance.
Yeah.
Keep your joy, y'all, and spread it around.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Joy, peace and love, y'all. Spread them blessings.
Oh, I love you all so much.
Awesome, and thank you guys. And what a beautiful ending for this experience that you guys have had at this course at the University of Wisconsin. And and now we're going to have the credits, and we're going to hear Ellison, the piece by Mitchell. And so thank you for spending this evening with us. And let's keep it going. Keep the joy. Keep that joy going.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you all so much, and also for waving your tail so gracefully.
Are those dreadlocks on the top of his head? What is that? A dinosaur with dreads. Wow.
Y'all
we always
stay
had
in
feathers.
touch. Stay in touch, y'all.